Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Raw Side. Let's see who popped in to hang out with me and Steve. Nobody commented yet, but you guys are out there. I see you. So put your hands together and welcome Steve from Nocturnal Frequency Radio. Hello,
Hey,
Mr. Steve.
hey, Laura, how are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Just,
Good.
yeah, good. Can't complain. Can't complain.
That's great. Oh, there's hi, Michael. Hi, Giselle.
Hey, guys.
Yeah. I think I said I see you out there, but nobody's there's Giselle. They're saying Steve, yay, Steve. I know I have to make this up to Steve because the last time I had him on, it was just a disaster. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was fun nonetheless.
Yeah, I had a good time, but the technical difficulties stunk, and I fixed all of that. Yay!
I've gone through my fair share of technical difficulties over the years, so I know how it goes.
Well, it was the same thing like you were having. It was StreamYard plus my connection, and I just felt so bad. I'm thinking, here we're trying to talk, and it's like everything just kept just disappearing and not working, and all. It was,
I,
you
I
know,
figured I figured out what my problem was. I was streaming on 420, 480, whatever. I'm like, whoa, no wonder it's crappy.
it's just, so it's at least now, fingers crossed, we both got some good luck going on.
Hmm.
Hi, the Watchman. Welcome. So yeah, it's at least at least this time around, it should be a whole hell of a lot better. I hope.
Looking good so far.
Yay! All right. Uh, so actually, there's one question I didn't ask you the
Hmm.
last time you were on, and of course, I'm going to ask this time because you are going into your 17th season.
Yeah, 17th
And
season. Yeah.
did you ever think that when you started this that you would get this far?
When I started the show, I had been doing I'd been co-producing other shows back in the day, and I was pretty much in charge of just bringing in guests from various areas, the paranormal and film actors and stuff like that. But whatever. I really wanted to do my own show. I really wanted to host my own show, and got things together. And literally, it was simply based on. Uh, I was kind of looking for a one show that I really enjoyed at the time. Was like a kind of a grassroots podcast called Ghostly Talk, and they literally would just do. It wasn't a live broadcast, but literally what it was, they would cover the investigation that they went out and did, and just talked about it. And I thought, hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, you don't really see, or at that time, and we're talking like the early 2000s. I mean, you really
Right,
didn't you really didn't see that.
right.
And I'm like, I'd love to do that. So the group that I had formed before that, Southern Ontario Paranormal Society, um, I literally just felt, okay, well, let's do a radio show based on the group. And that's how it turned out. I mean, in the beginning, it was just simply our experiences with what we were investigating, whatever we captured, the experiences we had, blah blah blah. And then, it just kind of it didn't fall apart, but it changed, it morphed. And I really wanted to cover more. I wanted to cover other people. I wanted to bring in other people into the fold, and see what they were doing, and sort of, you know just like see what the community was like, and people that were really involved in the paranormal, so on and so on. And we're talking about, the investigative side. We're talking about the research side. They're talking about the people who wrote about it, the scientific sort of, I mean, where was science on all this? I mean, we wanted to know what science was talking about this, how they were dealing with this.
Right.
And literally, it's like, okay. And then Alex came on. He came on to co-host, and it just took off. And we're like, hey, this is great. let's go with it. And we were having fun. We're still having fun. And yeah, did we think it would go this long? Probably not in the beginning, no. But here we are.
And it's going strong.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
Because it's funny how people just fall into something, think, oh, what the hell? Let's just do this and fly by the seat of our pants and see what
Hmm.
happens. And
Hmm.
yeah, you're just now into the 17th season, and that's
Hmm.
just great.
Yep, yep.
Jeez. Any big plans for your 17th season?
Well, we really wanted to bring in a lot of new people, a lot of new guests, a lot of people that we've never had on the show because we were always. I don't want to say we were always bringing in the same people, and we still do. I mean, we've made a lot of friends doing the show over the years, and we, unfortunately, we've lost a lot of really good friends over the years, sadly, but they're still with us. But I mean, we like to bring it. But this season, we wanted to bring in fresh new faces. We wanted to sort of expand our look at certain things, like we've done the paranormal to God knows, we've covered everything
Right.
with ghost hunting or however you want to call it. But we wanted to sort of, I guess, expand it into like ufology and crypto. I mean, we've done shows on these topics, but we've never really done it in great length, and I think we would really want to do more of that as well.
Oh, well, yeah, we look forward to that because it's great when you kind of open up the floor and because there's more to, I believe, paranormal than what everybody is thinking it is. Like you said, it's
Absolutely.
there. It's just a wide field, and it's all of the unexplained. And
Mhm.
so, if we can get into that, because there's so much out there, and you're still thinking, okay, because a lot of people say, "Oh, it's all bullshit," but no, I don't know. You got to keep the door open because we just don't know.
No, no, we don't know. And that's the thing. It's 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 outside the scope of of science as our current understanding, and that's how we have to look at it. Um, and a lot of what's being thrown out there is based on theory. What science is kind of thought of what's going on right now, and slowly but surely science is kind of chipping away at it. But again, we have to remember, science is like it's fallible, it's man-made, and it doesn't mean it's the end all be all. I mean, it's peer reviewed, and obviously you have that sort of scope, and you have a little bit more legit sort of look at things, but it doesn't fully understand, obviously, the outside, the paranormal sort of aspect. And that's how, you know as a show, we're looking at it like that. As I investigate it, and I'm still actively investigating,
Oops, shit.
and
Sorry about that.
that's fine. And that's how we look, that's how I look at it, looking at that 1%, because true paranormal activity is very rare, very rare.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree with you because
Mhm.
it's a hit or miss. No matter how many times you can go out and you think you've got something, but then it's explained away.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
I mean, that's the downside, but it's just that you get those one moments where, okay, maybe this is something because you can't explain it, and I think that's what keeps everybody drawn in.
It keeps me drawn in. I mean,
Yeah,
like, like people will say, "Well, why are you debunking?" And I'm not a debunker. I don't debunk, and I don't think it's healthy to just outright debunk. It's To be honest, it can be very nasty. I think you need to be a healthy skeptic.
right.
You need to be skeptical with everything, because I mean, debunking is just simply saying no, it doesn't exist, and you don't know that. Just like you don't know that there is actually a paranormal. I mean, it goes both ways.
Yes.
So I do understand the whole debunking bit with people who are out there faking and providing entertainment, blah blah blah. Yeah, rightfully so. And I'm on that road too. I mean, I've been an advocate against it for years, with this show. I mean, I don't know how many times I've gotten myself into hot water with a lot of people, and I just simply think that you really need to be skeptical. You don't need to say no, 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 absolutely not. You have to
Right.
think. You have to think about everything. You have to take everything into account. Everything,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, because I that's what I pretty much tell you. I get a lot of people angry too, but I'll
Yeah.
say, okay, just because I'm saying, just like the other night, I was talking with somebody about haunted items or
Hmm.
attachments on items.
Hmm.
I says, well, I'm on the fence with that.
Yeah.
I says, because I've never experienced something like that, but
Hmm.
I haven't closed the door on it. Because
Yeah.
who am I to say, because I haven't experienced it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So I think you got to look at all of it that way.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I mean, I constantly say, look, I'm always learning. I'm not an expert. I'm always learning. Um, I don't know everything, and I'll never claim to know everything. I'll never claim to be an expert. I mean, heck, who certified the certifier? It's you're seasoned, you're experienced through the many times that you've gone out, and you learn from your mistakes. You learn. You may have had an incident happen where you thought was paranormal when you start to realize that no, wait a sec, no, because it's exactly like that. Okay, so it's explained. Okay, I get it. Yeah. And then move on. But you take from that experience, from that learning experience, and you bring it forward and you assert it when necessary in the future. Right.
Right. Totally
So,
agree with that.
mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
And yes, I do agree, Giselle. Yes, the debunkers are great. They are, and we're not taking anything away from them
No, 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 no,
or their
no,
work because they do a
no.
great job. But
Mhm.
some of them are a little closed-minded in certain areas.
They go too far.
Um,
They honestly they go really they're almost as bad as the people faking. And
sometimes,
I'm not naming names. No, don't
right,
get me wrong. I mean,
right,
I
sometimes.
don't hate all debunkers, don't get me wrong. But I just think there are some out there that just really yeah, okay.
Yeah, I get it because they're, it's because they're so hard pressed. They want to catch what's wrong or is fake. But
Mhm.
I think sometimes, because I've asked this question to many, and I'll ask it to you as well.
Yep.
Do you think that, because I know you debunk, I debunk as we're
Mhm.
going along,
Mhm.
but do you think that we get to the point that we debunk ourselves out of true evidence?
Um there was probably a point when I was doing this that yeah, quite possibly and you kind of get into a situation where you're like okay, do I want to do this anymore? It just doesn't make any sense. It just nothing's happening. Nothing, the thrill, I don't want to say the thrill, but the novelty, of when you first start doing it. Like I've been doing this for almost 30 years now, and there's valleys and hills and valleys. I mean, there's points when I'm like, I just want to hang things up and say enough, you
Right.
know.
Yeah, I've been there. Yep.
But yeah, but then something happens, or I have an experience, or whatever else, or somebody else is doing it, and I'm really intrigued, but why they why they are what they're doing. It's intriguing, right? So it kind of gets me going again. In fact, I think right now I'm in the process of updating a lot of my equipment because I'm a grassroots kind of guy when it comes to the paranormal, right?
Right.
But I've been in the process of updating a lot of my equipment. So um yeah,
Yeah,
I
because you
kind of
have to. A lot of
oh
stuff,
yeah,
it becomes obsolete and it doesn't work as well as what the newer stuff is coming out with.
yeah,
To make it easier for us. The same thing, like with EVPs. You can listen to
yeah.
them on all kinds of different programs, but one program is going to pick up something that the other program is going to miss because it's just not advanced enough.
See,
Um,
Michael says he debunked himself the other night. I heard a
right.
strange noise in the woods and got scared, and I didn't realize. I wouldn't call that
It's weird.
debunking. I wouldn't call that debunking. You're rationalizing.
Right.
You're rationalizing. I wouldn't call that debunking though.
See, well, that's the first thing I think of if I'm in the, well, okay, it's an animal.
You
Uh,
rationalize, you think, you
right,
think.
right. I think everybody does that. You're just like, oh, okay, that's just an animal.
You know,
Uh,
speaking of animal, I had a really, really strange encounter years ago. I was working late. I was two in the morning. I was walking home, and I was walking up to this bridge over a river, and the bridge it's really high up from the river, but and it splits in two. And as I'm approaching this bridge, and there's nobody around, this what I thought was maybe a coyote or something, coming up from the other side, crossing the road, and stopped at the grassy knoll. I'm like, okay, so I stop. I'm like, okay, like I'm an avid hiker. I trail run, blah blah blah. I go through this all the time. So I stop I'm like, okay, and then all of a sudden, this thing stands on its hind legs.
oh,
Yeah. So I'm going, okay, wait a sec here. And I'm trying to rationalize, going, what the hell's going on here? What animal can do that? What animal can stand on their hind legs? Like literally stood there for almost
just
5 minutes,
just standing right up.
just
Hmm.
standing upright. And then all of a sudden, after 5 to 7 minutes, dropped down, crossed the road in front of me, and then went back down under the bridge. A bear. No, there's no bear in this area. And it was thin. It may be a mangy bear, but it wasn't a bear. There's no bear in this area at all. None. And that's the thing.
Maybe
That
a
was my first thought, bear.
raccoon.
No, raccoon. This thing was probably about 5.5 feet.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. So I was thinking, okay, maybe a coyote, but a coyote can't do that for that long.
Not that
So
long.
I don't know.
Interesting.
But my first thought was it was a bear, but no, there was no bear. I talked to so many people. I talked to zoologists. I talked to people, vets, you name it, people in the area,
Right.
hunters, all sorts of people, and absolutely nothing, nothing.
Bill wants to know what area this was.
Southern Ontario, Southern Ontario, which is close to the New York State border. So
Hmm.
it's about 40 minutes north of the border. So yeah, there's no bear there.
Right.
Absolutely none.
And Michael, yeah, Michael, deer do stand on their hind legs, but they can't do it for long.
No, they can't do it for long. And if it was a deer, I would have noticed that.
Right.
Awkward. This thing was just. It seems so natural the way it did. It stood. It was just
It
really weird.
just stood up. I'm trying to
Mm.
think. I mean, even if it was a kind of cat species or something, it's still they can't stand for very long.
There was a story in the late '70s that broke in Toronto, and made the headline news actually, and they called it the Toronto Tunnel Creature. Yeah, a lot of people say Dog Man,
Dog man.
the Dog Man of Michigan, right? So, but anyhow, yeah. And when I saw the artist rendition of this front page, I'm like, wow, that's what I saw. That's exactly what I saw. So, was there any kind of connection? Who knows? I have no idea. Other
Right.
than it's been an ongoing investigation for several years now. So
And
yeah,
that's the only time you experienced that.
the only time. But a friend of mine who wrote for several magazines, including UFO Digest, wrote the article, and yeah, it was Jeff.
It was Jeff.
It was Jeff.
Solve the mystery. Damn it, Jeff.
Yeah.
We knew it was.
Yeah, and basically wrote the article on this, and it gained a lot of interest, and in fact, for people who lived in the area where I saw this, and it turns out that other people have witnessed it. So,
Oh,
what is it?
interesting.
Who knows? Who knows? Who
Well, I
knows?
would actually, I would go back there and just hang out to see if I could experience it again.
Done it
Uh,
several times.
several times, nothing,
Brought
huh?
brought equipment, all sorts of stuff.
Weird.
Nothing.
So
Absolutely nothing.
that's the kick in the pants. You experience that once, and then
Yep.
that's about it. let's see,
10
Jeff,
minutes from that Michigan case.
case.
What, the Dogman case?
So he's heard of that as well, Jeff? Huh. Yeah, that because I'm here. I'm rolling through my head right now, thinking, okay, what animal can stand for that long on their hind legs? And there's very few.
Yeah, yeah, there's very few. I mean, it literally, like, close to almost between 5 and 10 minutes. I stood there.
Oh yeah, that's
Stood
wow.
there, I'm like, "Okay, what the hell? Okay," and it was like a Mexican standoff. It's like, "Okay, who's gonna move first?" So,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
yeah,
So
interesting.
yeah, yeah, it is, and
Mhm.
that's what it drives you nuts because I mean it's been years and you're still searching for similar cases and experiences.
Well, I've been trying to, gain access legally, to the runoff system underneath the bridge, and there's a lot of red tape with that, but I have a friend who might be able to investigate that, because I'm kind of thinking whatever it was went into this drainage system. So who knows?
So yeah, it must travel through
Yeah.
the underground pipes. Steve wants to know if you did you feel vulnerable?
No, I was just like surprised. I just felt surprised. I'm like, okay, it doesn't make any sense. Like it wasn't computing. It wasn't computing. So I just stood back in a defensive mode and just literally let it do what it was going to do and just walk off like it did.
Right?
And I gingerly walked over to see if it had left, and of course it was gone. So, yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Crazy.
Sir Spookfest says a Wendigo.
Wendigo, yes.
Oh, is that how they say that? A Wendigo? And
Wendigo, yeah,
he wants to know
shapeshifter.
if those are in your area. Uh,
Wendigos, there are many stories of Wendigos. They're more northern Ontario, but, hey,
yeah,
you
never
never
heard
know.
of that.
Yeah, look them up. Yeah, yeah,
I'll
I know
have to.
you got quite a few down there too in the
So
States.
that's the first time I've ever heard of that one. So,
Mhm.
hi,
Int
welcome everybody that's popped in. Yeah, that's well, yeah. Now that I would have to look up to even see if there was be any connection to your experience. I don't.
Mhm, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
was it a shapeshifter? I don't know.
temperature.
Who knows? Is it an undocumented animal? Crypto? Who knows? Is it a long lost animal thought to be extinct? Who knows? But
Right.
like I said, there's nothing that's coming up with all the research that I've done and the people that I've talked to. So,
Now, see, it's like friends of mine came back here to New York to the Adirondacks to visit, and
mm,
I think most of you guys probably heard me tell the story about how they went traveling through the woods
mhm,
on a trail where
yeah,
they were staying, and his daughter come upon some kind of thing in the forest. Didn't know what the hell it was, but it was
mm,
enough to scare her, enough to where she was swearing because she never swears, and she just told her father, "We have to get the f out of here."
mm,
And she was white as a ghost. He goes, "Well, what the hell's the matter?" And she says, "It was over there by the tree." And he goes, "Well, it's probably a bear." She goes, "No, I know what a bear looks like. This was not a bear."
mm,
And
yeah,
it was about, she'd say about 10 to 12 feet tall, just standing there by a tree.
wow,
And she was looking dead at it, and she said it was mostly brown, but did have a white stripe on it. And it scared the living heck out of her. But the thought that was weird is when on the trail where they were walking, when they first walked down, it was kind of muddy.
yeah,
There was a birch tree branch that was shoved into the ground, and my my friend couldn't get it out. So obviously somebody had hammered it in. And mind you, there's no birch trees in this area; it's all pine. So when they were coming back after she saw this creature or whatever it was, on the opposite side of that trail was another birch branch
mhm,
that somebody had just put in there. And if
wow,
somebody was banging it into the ground, they would have heard it.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
And they heard nothing until after they started walking down the trail and they heard this really horrible sounding yell or something. It was really strange. And they didn't have time to go back to check it out. So they have no idea what it was. So was it a Bigfoot of some kind or? I mean, who the hell
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. Yeah. You never know. I mean, there's so many different, if you want to go down that route, crypto animals crypto creatures that, I mean, are probably similar, but because they're in different areas, they're called different things. I mean, you look at Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever. I mean,
Right.
there's so many skunk ape in Florida. It's excuse me, and people are naming some off in the chat. I mean, there's even another one that seems to people get a chuckle with. The name is called the Puckwudgie, right? A little troll that
I just heard of those. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so I mean, these are native creatures that the native believe that they were spotting years ago. So yeah, I mean, you never know. You just don't
Right.
know. You just don't know. I mean, are these creatures, maybe they're able to, like ghosts. Maybe they can, travel, a linear plane of existence. Who knows?
Right.
You just don't know, right? And there's a glitch, and who knows?
Yeah,
Nobody
right.
knows.
And see, the funny thing is, this girl always took pictures of everything. That was the one day she didn't have her phone out taking photographs.
Mhm.
So you see that one time you don't do it.
Yep.
And that's when she ran into this creature and it scared the hell out of her. And like I said, she just, and then that's when they proceeded when they were walking back to see if they could see any kind of footprints,
Mhm.
any kind of, like trees or something, not something, that would mark the trail. And they didn't find anything, but,
Yeah.
and they were left with the mystery of this creature and this horrible sound.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it was probably just yelling at him to get the hell out of his, out of his neck of the woods.
Yeah, I agree with Michael too. I have to see to believe, but at the same time, I have to think now. You have to think logically. We humans are rely on tangibility, tangible things that are solid, things that our scope of senses can sort of understand.
Mhm.
But the world isn't built like that. I mean, the world, that's how societal sort of filters have been put in you that you've grown up with. You got to think. I mean, there's more to this than the physical sort of aspect of life. I mean, there is a non-physical sort of plane of existence that we all live in as well, called the metaphysical world. And a lot of what's happening in the paranormal is easily explained through the metaphysical. And if people would look into that a little bit more, you'd be surprised. You really would. You really would.
It's Ken's birthday. Well, happy birthday, Ken.
Happy birthday, Ken.
He's spending his birthday with us. We feel so honored.
Uh,
Michael says that I believe it was their world first and we just took it over. Hmm.
you never know. You never know. I mean, there's a lot of people that believe that there were several intelligent civilizations on this earth.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's all sorts of theories, all sorts of things, and in some cases some sort of evidence that we can't explain, that makes you think, okay, what really did happen? Is history as we're being told? We don't know. We just don't know.
No, because as further as they go on, I notice I watch a lot of that stuff online and a
Yeah.
lot of documentaries. And the further they dig, the more they find, they see that the stories are changing
Hmm.
and we're not as smart as we think we are.
No.
And the people in the past aren't as primitive as we thought they were.
Yeah. Elmer, go back. Yeah. Gnomes. Yeah. Again, trolls and gnomes are another thing that people all over the world swear they've witnessed. I mean, are they real? Who knows?
The only
Who
one I
knows?
have is in my garden,
Yeah. I
and
mean,
he hasn't moved since I put him there. So
yeah, exactly, Steve. The Earth's been here for millions of years,
yes,
so I mean, we've only been here in a blink of an eye. So
pretty much,
yeah, blink of an
pretty
eye.
much.
What has happened? We just don't know. We don't know.
Everything is always just still a mystery. And
Absolutely. And I think that's how you have to sort of kind of look at the paranormal as well. I mean, when you're investigating and researching the paranormal, because a lot of it is theory based, the outline is, and here in the Western world, especially here in the Western world, it's religiously influenced. Organized religion heavily influences how we look at the paranormal and the afterlife, and how they're connected, somewhat connected. But I mean, wouldn't that be an eyedropper if all of this had nothing to do with religion at all, and
mm,
the afterlife? If you were told, Laura, that you don't die, you just transition into the next world, right? That
actually, that's well, I think that we transition into a higher form of being, is what I believe.
Sure, like it's a different plane of existence. Like
Yeah,
what they would say is real life. We're sitting in here and it's some sort of a purgatory, going
right.
through hell, and it's sort of wait, biding our time until it's our time, and bang, we move on, right?
That's yeah, pretty much. That's why I see it. Um, like, well, people like say, well, like a true hell or a true heaven. I mean, everybody has their own beliefs, but who's to say that the true hell isn't here? This is our test right here.
Yeah.
We have to go through these trials and all of this to get to that higher plane. You just
Hmm.
don't, get a free ticket.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. It's again, this is it's a highly unknown world. We like to think we know everything, and we don't. And I think, but what drives me nuts is people who exploit that. People who exploit that, and will go, look at, no, I've got proof. I've got evidence of the paranormal, and there's no review of it at all. There's no,
Right,
did you try to recreate it? What makes you think it's paranormal? I don't get it. Tell me. Explain to me. And then when you approach somebody and ask them that, it's like, oh my God, they get all defensive. And that's the problem. You can't be defensive. You have to take criticism. You have
right.
to you need to expect criticism. If you're going to
I
present something that's
right.
what you think is paranormal.
I just, well, I believe it's because they don't have an answer. So
Yeah.
you pretty much caught them with their pants down.
Yeah.
So of course the defense mechanism kicks in, and oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or it's, or how dare you, or it's, I know what I know, and okay, well, yes, we all know what we know, but it doesn't mean that it's truth or fact. And
Hmm.
you're right. Yeah, I mean, just even having YouTube channels or whatever, we're putting it out there. Somebody is going to pick through it and pull it apart, and
Hmm.
you have to be prepared for that.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Same thing with the when I the EVPs there, and what I sent you, and
Hmm.
I've sent it to other people that help out with it, and I know what I think I'm hearing,
Yeah.
but I just want some kind of validation for somebody else if they think they're hearing the same thing
Yeah. I mean, yeah, when
or
it comes
something close to what I think I'm hearing.
when it comes to the EVP review, reviewing something that's quite possibly an EVP, the process I do with the group, is, if you got something, send it send it to me, what you think. All right, and then send it to the guys. But each one of them, I want you to send me individually what you think is being said, or what you're hearing, or whatever else. I don't want you guys sharing anything. I don't want you contaminating each other's thoughts. I want you to tell me outright what you think you're hearing, or what you're hearing, right?
Right,
And then compare it, right? And then from there you're going, okay, well, consensus said, look at, it's saying this. Okay, well then, okay, let's take it a step further. Let's present it outside to somebody that, people that I deal with, that, hey, what are your thoughts on this? What do you think it is? What's, and see what they're saying, and then
right,
present it to everybody. What are your thoughts? Let me know what
Right.
you think. Let me know what you think. Let me know. I want to hear what you think it's saying, or what you're hearing, or whatever else, right? May it be a noise or whatever,
Right.
right?
So
And
yeah, that
I
go
hate
ahead.
heavily filtering too. I can't stand people will heavily filter something just to get something. Honestly, if you're not getting it, if you're not getting it right away,
Right.
it's yeah, just don't kill it. Don't kill it.
Right. That's
Don't.
why I try to slow it down just so I can just make out, you
Oh,
know,
sure. I mean, if you
full
know you
words.
reverse it, whatever. Yeah, sure.
Trying
Yeah,
trying
get.
everything. I said, "Wow, I gotta share it out and see and get everybody's opinion."
Hmm. Yeah,
Because like I was there after the fact and I got nothing.
yeah.
And so that was the only time I actually picked up anything. And I plan on going back and doing it again and just sitting there for a while and
Exactly.
let the recorder run and see if I could pick up the same voice or the same
Excuse
stuff.
me.
I don't know, but
Exactly, Friday House. Yeah, over filtering will create new sounds.
just sounds
Exactly. That's
really
why
yep.
I do not like filtering. If it's absolutely necessary in a situation, then maybe I'll filter a little bit. But I mean, if you're not getting anything right away, if it's not clear, then don't kill it. Don't kill it. I mean, so many people like over filter to the point. It's like, what am I hearing? It just and and then
Right.
and by that time it doesn't matter, you force fed people this Frankenstein audio, and they're, oh yeah, I hear it, I yeah, you hear this. It's like seeing a face in a window. Oh yeah, I see that face. Oh yeah, what do you see? I see a face, and then everybody jumps on board. Oh, I see it, and there's nothing
Right.
there. There's nothing there.
Right. Yeah, because I've
Mhm.
done that with photographs. I'll
Yeah,
post it'll say, okay, tell me what you see.
yeah,
That's all
yeah.
I say.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't give them any hints, any kind of, suggestions. Just you
No.
tell me what you see.
Hmm.
And then we just go from there. And of course, it's usually just reflection and, the pareidolia because people are going to make up.
Pareidolia, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
they're going to
That's
make up
that's
what they think they're saying.
that's a
Uh,
major thing that people just don't really understand. They just no, I don't know. That's bullshit. No, no, it's real. It is. It's you have to take that into consideration. It's 9 out of 10 times that's what it is.
right.
You know.
So yeah,
Because
that's what I'm saying. With the audio, that's why I said, okay, let me send it to Steve, get Steve's opinion,
Mhm.
and then we'll go from there because I've sent it to a few people, and it's just you know, like most of my set they were too busy. Friday helped me out, and Bill helped me out,
Yeah.
but now I just want to see what you come up with, and I've been listening to it for days,
Mhm.
just because there's certain sections I hear something but I can't make it out completely, and I just
Yeah.
want to I just want to know what the hell it's saying.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'll definitely go through it for sure.
Let's
Definitely
see.
go through it.
Friday says he uses high pass filter as a 70 hertz with 12 BD roll off. Then try a few noise filter samples and might use EQ if other noises are there, but it requires nothing more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but what I like to do is I like to strip it right down to the different frequencies. Like I'll literally separate the frequencies and see what happens when you separate the frequencies, what you get. Um, and if one frequency is muddling the other, you take that frequency out, and it just I don't know the different levels. I think that's uh the most important thing is analyzing each thing individually. So uh
Right. See, like Jeff says, he plays the original first and then he tweaks the version.
yeah,
Yeah, because see, that's what I would like to be able to do. Is just hear it original but enhanced, so you can make out the words better.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Friday, that's the I find is the best thing. I mean, like, I don't know, Laura, if you remember the one I played of the child reciting a nursery rhyme and singing. You ever heard that one?
I don't. You didn't play that the other night because I know you did a.
No, no, I didn't play the
All
other
right.
night. It was actually
The other
Cat.
night was the child laughing, but
Yeah.
I probably heard it.
Yeah, and I mean, I totally oblivious to me when I first reviewed the, video, and this was, like, I think it was 2009, when we went in and, I had the guy do, a visual walk through of the old, farmhouse, now a museum sort of thing, and I was reviewing the video just for whatever, and that it just totally eluded me. And then, 10 years later, I decided to put together like a little video celebrating the 10th anniversary of us investigating, because we're still investigating this place after 15 years now, and I'm reviewing all this footage, and I go back and I watch the first video and the first walkthrough, and all of a sudden, bang! It's like, what, what? Wait, and I rewound the file, and I amplified uh, the audio a little bit, and they didn't really need to, but I just wanted to make sure I was hearing something, and then all of a sudden, you hear a girl singing. Like, wait a sec, there's no kids there.
Right.
There's nobody there with him. It just doesn't make any sense. And this was a fresh tape. Fresh tape. This was shot on high 8 years ago at digital high 8, and it was a fresh tape, brand new tape. I never reuse a tape. I always use a new tape. And it was baffling, just absolutely baffling. When you hear it, it just brings just chills to think that it's so clear. You can't make out what she's singing, because we've kind of think that it's in French, and I know
Oh,
Jeff in chat will tell you he's listened to it. He can bring it out, kind of understand it, but it's really 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 intriguing, really
right.
intriguing. Yeah,
Yeah, he said yes, it is. All right. So
yeah.
yeah, actually, now that you just said mentioned French, I do think I did hear that.
Yeah, you might have.
Yeah,
I played it a few
pretty
times.
sure.
Yeah, I
Yeah, because
played
I
it a
the
few times.
French thing say now that I'm remembering, I think he said thought it was in French.
Yeah, yeah, I
So,
played it a few times, so
well, that's just because it's cool. I mean, it's not very often you can get something like that.
No, no,
So when
absolutely
you
not.
do, you play it and you play it. Like I said, I've played this thing over, God, right, 100 times now, and I've still, because I'm still not good with the editing thing and doing the stuff like you guys do because you have more experience in all of that
Yeah,
technical stuff. And and I'm playing around with it and I'm getting it to where it's making it a little clearer, but it's still not to where I'll be satisfied with it. It's just to make sure that okay, this is what's being said, and I
mhm,
couldn't hear it with my own ears.
yeah. Yeah, 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 he can't wait to go there.
That place. Well, I think it's great that you guys keep going to that same place and you're still picking up something.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, real, true paranormal investigation and research, when you go in to determine a place, if it's got any activity at all, anything, repeat visits, several repeat visits, you become a part of the house. You understand the house, you understand the creaks and the bangs, and you understand the noises that house makes, and at the same time the house starts to warm up to you, and start to recognize you each time you come in, kind of like the curator of the house. And it's something he says, because they've had a lot of stuff happen in that house, and he just wants to understand what's going on. And we're doing our best over the years to not only try to understand what's going on, but to link it to the history of the house. I think
Right.
is very important, and these are things that will only best come out, repeat investigations, repeat research, ongoing research, right?
Right.
Ongoing research, and there's a lot of people that really wanna go to, what I call paranormal Disneylands. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been to a lot, Waverly Hills, Rolling Hills, you name it.
Oh
I've
yeah.
the Shanley Hotel. I've been all over the place, and, they're great, but the thing is, it's not the same type of sort of investigation. It's one and done, you know? I mean, yeah, there are people that go in and go back and, but it's broken up. It may sometimes years, and but with this sort of, and there's several locations that we do this with, it's over several years. I mean,
Right.
repeated visits, right? And you put together, you link what your findings are telling you, you know? So and so coughed here. Oh, wait a sec, he's doing it again over here. What's
Right.
going on? This door, like we have this banging, like this bang, this door bang that kind of seems to be some sort of a phenomenon in the house, and we can't figure out what it is. It's like a door slamming, and we've tried to recreate it over and over and over again. No matter what, we can't figure it out. We can't. But it's every time you listen to the audio taken, you hear it somewhere within the audio at some point in our time there.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, see, that's like I said, I do agree. You have to go back several times. You just
Yeah,
can't do it one and done.
yeah,
Because and I believe that because the houses and whatever's going on there is becoming comfortable with you being there.
yeah,
So it
absolutely.
kind of lets his guard down and does
Hmm.
its thing while you're
Hmm.
there.
Yep.
So the more you go, the better it is.
So I mean, if yeah, if you have the opportunity, run with it. I mean, soak it in as much as you can, because you'll thank yourself later on, because there have been so many golden moments in this place that it never grows tiresome, never.
Right.
Nope.
That's great.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Michael. I agree too. You know, when your area has a lot of folklore and history
Hmm.
backing the area, those are I think the best places to go.
Yeah.
I rather watch that, and that's always trying to find people. I wish that a lot of the YouTubers, who are very serious about this,
Hmm.
go and do places that aren't so famous, and it's just that's why I love watching because you go to this is the farmhouse and this is this and
Hmm.
nobody's seen that because we don't live there, but now we're going to experience it because you've taken the time to dedicate investigations to this specific place.
Well, I mean, think about how all these famous places came into being. It's just one person going in repetitively. I mean, you look at Waverly Hills. I mean, if it wasn't for a guy like Keith Age going in before that became popular, it wouldn't have, it probably would have took longer to become popular. And if it wasn't for the owners that bought Waverly Hills too, that allowed people to go in there and investigate it. But Keith was going in there before this was going on,
Right.
and the stuff that he experienced there, it was, hey, no wonder people wanted to go there, right?
Well, yeah, it only takes one person to to get the
All it
word
takes.
out, and then
Yeah,
everybody starts running. But again,
yeah.
they don't do it several times.
No,
And
no, they
like
did.
you said, they break it up between the years, and
Mhm.
it's just not the same. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome. Um, so yeah, if it's that's why I like it when people do more local stuff because then you can go back once a week,
Oh,
twice a
yeah,
week.
and you got lots of great places down there in New York State. There's lots of great places down there.
So it's just a little car ride, and you hang out for a while, and
Yeah, lots of cool places down there.
so oh yeah.
I mean, we've got lots of cool places here too, but I don't know. I've always been drawn to New York State, especially Western New York. You know, it
Uh,
just there's so many cool places down there. So
just a lot of history. We have a
lot
lot of
a
history.
lot of history, and you know what? A lot of that history is retained. It's not dozed down. It's not destroyed. A lot of people will do what they can to to save it, to restore it, and it's really cool. Here, a lot of cool places, a lot of places just lay by the wayside and just eventually are demoed and gone.
Oh, that's
Right.
that's a shame.
It is, and it's unfortunate. I mean, yeah, we do have a lot of historical places here still. Yeah, great, huge, but they're hard to get into because it's a different landscape here than it is down there.
Now we have a hard time in getting in certain places too. There's a couple of buildings I want to get into here, and they do Halloween tours, but
Mhm.
that's about it. When
Well,
you ask to do a personal and private invest, they go no.
and
It's
and I think a lot of that has to do with the past. These other groups that have gone in there and have ruined
right.
it for other people, right?
Well, most of, one of them is it's a historical building.
Mhm.
It used to be an original hospital,
Yeah,
one of the first hospitals in this area,
yeah,
and it's in beautiful condition.
yeah,
But they only open it up for Halloween time, and otherwise it's fenced off, and they won't let you in.
yeah.
Hi, Wayne, welcome. And there's another place. It was a state hospital,
Mhm.
um, a mental hospital, but I heard they're going to be opening that up again. That's what's you know flying through the grapevine. So I'm waiting to see if they're going to allow people to go in there because that one I'd love to go into. It's a huge building.
Well, I know there was also one that was a part of a Netflix series too, I believe, and it's somewhere down your way. I can't remember exactly where, and it used to be a part of a what they call the cult school system, and a lot of the kids were abused in this system, and a lot. I think a couple of them died.
Oh,
Yeah, in the system, and yeah, I agree. Friday, I have to agree. It's true. Disrespectful ghost hunters looking for a thrill. Yeah, and
yep,
that's the problem.
yep,
Over the years, it's a constant thing, and it's unfortunate, and that's what I mean. When you look, I hate to say it, but I mean, look at this field isn't regulated. It's not regulated. People, it's exploited. It's like the Wild West,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly right. That's a great
You know, it,
description of it. Yeah,
yeah, it's like the Wild West. People can do whatever the hell they want to do, and they reap no consequences for it. And honestly, I think people who get involved with investigating the paranormal, be serious about it. Seriously, be serious about it. Let your work speak for yourself, and people will come forward.
right.
And people respect that.
Hi,
You know,
Tanya.
people
Yeah, yeah,
respect
they do.
they respect that. They obviously they're going to get the impression, oh, you're not one of these YouTubers that do this, or you're not one of
Right.
these guys that do that. And I don't. I look at. I'm really good friends with somebody who's been doing this for 40 years. 40 years. He's a well respected investigator, and he's written several books. And he's never, like, up until recently, you had to contact him through reference, right? Or he would get in contact with you if somebody
Right.
referred them to him or whatever.
Didn't you have him on the program?
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yes, I seen that. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
You know,
Because everybody was teasing him. He goes, "No, I don't do any of this stuff." So,
yeah. So, but I mean, he's done some high level, like, locations and so on and so on, like, and his stuff. He very rarely will share his findings. If you're good friends with him, he'll share something with you. But I mean, it's not like he puts it out there. and says, "Hey, it's his process is just something else, though.
Right. Well, he's
Of
doing it for himself, which is great.
Well, yes and no. I mean, he's doing it to help people as well. But I mean, it's yeah, it's the process is mind-boggling, but it's effective.
Yeah. I'll tell
You
you,
know,
because telling you doing all this stuff on YouTube can be a real pain in the backside. So it's
yeah,
so many
yeah.
rules.
So many rules, yeah, and
And I just started doing it because I thought, okay, it would be something great, and I could talk with other people that are like-minded, same experiences,
yeah,
and also helps me learn, and hopefully I can help somebody learn from what I've done. So that was the only reason, and what the heck, it helped me fill up some time. But now it's
exactly,
turned, and now it's just like turned into like this. It's a big production now. It's
yeah.
like, oh boy,
Oh, exactly, exactly, and that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing about people and their perception of paranormal investigating now. Their perception now has gotten to the point where it's I got to film everything. I got to film everything. I've got to edit it. I've got to do this. I got to do that. And that's not investigating the paranormal.
right?
That's
And see, that's the
providing
stuff I
people,
don't want to do,
you know,
right?
that's not the paranormal. Yeah, I get it. You're excited that you want to share something that you might have found, but you know what? Validate it first before you put it out there. Validate it.
Right,
you know and then you sit there and go, well, how do you validate this stuff? you know you look at, so audio, you take it to an audio engineer. An audio engineer is an expert in audio, right? If it's visual, take it to a videographer, an editor, or whatever, and see what they say.
right,
Photography, take it to a photographer, a trained photographer. I mean, take it to people who deal with this stuff on a daily basis, that can tell you about these different anomalies that show up on whatever medium that you're looking seeking help for, with you know it's your
right.
best action. So
Yeah, because it's like I said, I tried, I'm getting better at it, the editing thing, but I really don't want to have to edit anything. I just want to film it and just put it out there raw. Hello,
mm,
raw side. That's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
that's what it's about. I want it to be out there as I've seen it. I mean, if I'm capable, do it live. This way, you're right there experiencing it with me. So there it is. But that doesn't always work out that way. So
I'm the same way. I like presenting the sort of the raw aspect of the real thing. And I get it, people don't find that really entertaining. They like to have the cuts, and I do edit. Don't get me wrong, I do edit. But I do like giving you, exactly what we're sort of experiencing
right,
well in this doing this, you know and it's not all about the jumps and the scares and all this that people put in there. I mean, oh my god, it's ridiculous, some of the stuff that's out there. It's honestly,
right. Yeah, right. Friday, with or without the whoop. That's what
yeah,
it is.
yeah,
But see,
yeah,
that's the way, that's what people are after, especially on
yeah, yeah.
YouTube. It's like, okay, it's all about the clicks, it's all about the views. I get that. You want your channel to be successful.
Hmm.
Who doesn't?
Hmm.
But the audience that I want to keep and bring in is the ones that actually are appreciating just the raw effect and the
Yep.
educational aspect and the experience itself, not for, oh, well, geez, look at that, and all, like, all the stupid faces that these people make, and
Hmm. Yeah, exactly,
every
exactly.
other week somebody's getting possessed, and of course I've been calling this the year of the demon because that's all you hear.
Oh, don't get me started on demons.
That's all you
Oh,
hear. Oh, I was possessed by a demon. Oh, your ass, you were.
you know, probably, give or take, maybe about, we're talking maybe close to 200 cases that are demon related, and not one of them is a demon. So I don't want to say that they don't exist. To me, a demon, something demonic, is humanity. Humanity. There's a lot of evil people in this world,
Oh yeah.
and to me, that's who the real demons are. Those evil people. You know,
Those are the real monsters out there.
the real monsters. Because I can't tell you if I've ever been harmed by a ghost. Have you ever been harmed by a ghost? S- I think what
No.
there's only one documented case in the U.S. of a ghost killing a human or responsible, and that is the Bell Witch. You know, it's a well-known documented court case. John Bell was apparently, you know, his death is blamed on the Bell Witch, which is odd, isn't it?
Yeah,
So, so I mean, is it the ghosts that you have to worry about? No,
I know.
no.
I was always told growing up, you don't fear the dead, you fear the living.
Yeah.
And that's the truth. I mean, they're the ones that are going to hurt you more than anything else. I mean, some people that, you have been touched. If I've had my hair pulled or
Mm.
not really pulled, but you feel that little, tug, like somebody's grabbed it and just, tugged on it a little. But
Hmm.
as far as any kind of harm, no, not whatsoever.
I mean, I've had some weird stuff. Again, going back to that farmhouse that I was telling you about. I was sitting there, talking, doing an EVP session by myself in the front parlor room in the dark, and just sort of getting a vibe for the place. And I'm as psychic dumb as they come. I just felt like there was overwhelming feeling that there are children present. So I just started asking questions geared towards the children. And back then, children weren't allowed in the parlor room. It was off limits. It was adults only.
Right.
So, hey, you guys playing hide and go seek. Why are you in here? If you're caught, you're going to get in trouble, or what are you guys playing games? So on and so on. Hey, Terry, how are you? Good to see you. Um, and then all of a sudden, my shirt just started going like that,
Right.
being tugged like that. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
That's
What the
cool.
hell? There's nobody in there. Wait, nobody
Right.
here with me. Okay, guys, check the cameras. Check the cameras.
You're checking to see if you're getting caught on something.
Yeah,
There
yeah,
you
yeah. Nothing, no, nothing. And then all of a sudden, just the only thing that kind of, yeah, Haitian demons.
go.
uh,
Hide your pets.
yeah. But the only thing that we were able to get out of that sort of session was an EVP of what sounded like a person who didn't have enough strength to form words. They were trying to say something. It was kind of like, oh, mumbling, sort of, didn't
Right.
like they were drained or sick or something, and had no energy. And it was really weird. Just really weird.
So yeah. Well, did it sound? How did it sound to you? Like you said, like a drained, but did it sound like they were? It was like a muffled sound or underwater type of a sound or
Just like a clear voice, but not formulating words. Just like
words.
just like maybe you're visiting somebody who's really sick in the hospital, or they're in bed, and they got a massive fever, and they're just like mumbling in their sleep, sort of thing.
Okay.
That's what, it can't really talk. They don't have the energy. They can't say anything, formulate the words, and that's what it sounded like, right?
Okay.
So
So all right. I say because that's what I'm trying to figure out with what I sent you is how why is it sounding the way it sounds dark, but I just there could be many reasons why it could sound
well,
like
that's what I was asking you. Give me a little bit about what was there with you, what kind of environment you're with or in, right? So I can sort of
right,
place myself in there to kind of understand what you're referring to and why it sounds the way it does,
right.
right? through experience with things that I've been, I don't do cemeteries quite often, but I will do an old pioneer cemetery. Uh, and, I remember being there and doing that kind of stuff and experiencing weird stuff. Um, but yeah, really weird stuff. I'm like what we would consider ghost chatter.
Right.
You beat that, and this thing was in the middle of nowhere, a small little, and it was abandoned. The city literally abandoned it. It was still under
Right.
the city's care, but it hadn't been dealt with or tended to in years, and it was just laid by the wayside. It was falling apart. The stones were laying on the ground, cracked, hiding in the bushes, around
That's sad.
and it's really sad. And this was an old, at first was an old family plot of loyalists who came up from New York State. In fact, during the the British and American War, right? And they fled the U.S. because they were loyal to the Brits. So they were literally going to be kicked out anyways. But anyways,
Right.
um, this family settled there, and they had like a family plot that grew as the community around them grew. More and more families came, and they used that plot. So, but in there, it was primarily children because the time that this cemetery is quite active or at its height was when we were having problems with influenza and smallpox,
Hmm.
and people know they killed children front, left, and center because they had nothing to help them.
Right.
And a lot of the people buried there are children. We're talking very young.
And they just left it. That's
Hmm.
one of the biggest sins I think there is. It's
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
cemetery that's just left abandoned.
Just yeah, they just they'll tell you no money for it. In fact, we tried to we tried to raise money to have it restored. We had a conference in the whole 9 yards with a whole bunch of guest speakers, blah blah blah. But it was too much. It didn't help. But thankfully, what happened was our efforts weren't in vain. The loyalist. The Ontario Loyalist group came forward and said, "Well, we absolutely." One of the members said, "I love what you're doing with this place, and it's a Loyalist cemetery. We're going to fit the bill, and we're going to have this restored, fully restored."
Oh, fantastic.
And I'm like, "Wow!" Oh, I just complete chills. And they went in there. They went in there with ground penetrating radar to find out where the bodies, where the graves were, to properly place the stones. The stones were rebarbed, and they have a metal case. So even if they crack, they're not going to go anywhere. They're held in place
Oh,
now.
fantastic.
They've been put back into concrete or to the ground or whatever, and it was cleaned right up. Like, I mean, all the bushes were cleared, and it was amazing the stones that were found in the bushes that were cleared. It just wow, just and a new pathway up to the because it was on a hill.
Right.
There was only one family plot, like an iron wrought weeping willow fenced plot that would just lay there. It was like in ruins. They fixed it. They fixed it, reposted it, yeah, and cleared it right out. It was just amazing what they did with the place, and just you say to yourself, "Wow, all these years of doing research here are not in vain." Thank you
Right.
for actually taking notice to what we're doing and trying to get done here. And it was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, well, they took care of the forgotten. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
But
It's
sadly,
fantastic.
sadly though, it's I went up there actually a couple months ago just to have a look at it, and sadly it's been yeah, it's vandalized. Yeah,
Oh,
which is sad, really
see
sad.
what the hell is in my babies?
Yeah.
And it's kids. You know, it's kids.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I this past summer I went to a cemetery. A bit of ways away. My friend Bill had told me about it, and it had to do with the Revolutionary War. Well, this
Mhm.
cemetery is in the middle of nowhere on a dirt road,
Yeah.
and then my husband and I finally found it. But the beauty of it is, the county is taking care of it because here you are in the middle of the woods, and all of a sudden this field opens up, and there you have it,
Yeah.
and it is beautifully manicured, and they actually have security cameras so they could catch people if they go in there and vandalize. So
Oh
I just
wow.
thought that was fantastic. I'd like to go back because I want to
Mm.
get because when I went there, of course, my equipment all just died, didn't want to work, and
Hate that when that happens.
all you hear is me bitching on the recorder.
Yeah,
So I told
hate
my
that
husband, I
one
said, we
now.
need to go back. So I want to go back. I got a different camera now and a different recorder, and I'm hoping to find something there because I'd like to get names. The stones are so hard to read, but I want to get some close up shots to see if I can at least find out who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they had to do with that time period, but why did they bury him there?
Yeah.
Was it along the way during the fighting? And this is the spot they had, and they just dug and put him there. And I just want to know what the background story of it is and why they were put there because it's literally in the middle of nowhere. You wouldn't know it was
Wow.
there unless somebody told you.
Oh,
And the only reason Bill knew about it is because he said they would snowmobile on that trail,
yeah.
and they're driving by and they see it, and he's like, "Whoa!" So yeah, it's so yeah to drive down there. It's the road's horrendous, but yeah, it took us forever, but we did it, and so I'm hoping to do it again before snow falls and get some better shots.
Yeah, it's that's the downfall of living in this area is the snow. The
Yes,
snow.
because I don't do much in the wintertime as far as that goes. I'm not freezing to death
Yeah.
for a video. Sorry.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
And I trip
absolutely.
over my own feet as it is, and it's dry outside. Forget it. I'm going to slip and bust my ass on some ice now. Not going to happen. I just broke my toe the other day just walking around in my house.
I've been yeah I've been in snow, God, doing some sort of investigations off and on over the years in knee deep snow.
Yeah, no,
Just
I stopped doing that.
yeah, but it's like I said, it's been a while, and I don't think I'll be doing it anytime soon.
Yeah,
So
because I had scheduled an investigation last winter, had
yeah,
it all set up, and the day that I was going to go do it, it went down to 2 below 0. I go, oh, that ain't happening. And of course,
yeah,
the house I was going to do, no heat, no electricity. I said, no, no, I'm sorry, guys. When your nose sticks together and you're breathing, I'm not going to be standing there shaking,
no, no, no,
trying to do a
exactly.
video. It's just not going to
Oh
happen.
yeah, oh
Well,
yeah,
we
exactly.
wanted to know, do you think that mental health has anything to do with people believing in hauntings or possessions, etc.?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, mental health is a huge proponent, I believe, and again, that could go both ways. I mean, it can. And when you look at the research, it can go both ways, because when you look at somebody who spends a lifetime in a mental institution, and maybe they're talking, they talk to somebody, or they frequently talk to somebody that's not there. So it kind of equates to when your kid has a that invisible friend, they talk to, and they give a name, and so on and so on. And then all of a sudden, it dwindles away as they get older, right? I mean, yeah, it's like you kind of wonder, is your child actually talking to somebody? Is there actually can they actually make some sort of contact. And you always hear that they have this, they're more open to that sort of realm, and simply because the filters that society slowly instills in you aren't quite there yet,
Right.
right? So their minds are fresh, their thoughts are fresh, and can they actually, are they able to communicate with that sort of realm? And the same kind of goes with somebody who might be schizophrenic or whatever else. Are they actually, are they really talking to somebody? Yeah, it sounds crazy, but that's the thing. That's why people think they're crazy. But are they crazy? Are they really talking to somebody? Are they really communicating with somebody? And that's something we don't know. Science will say no, it's a condition. Give them a lobotomy or give them
Right.
some
Right.
give them some sort of medication and they'll be fine, right? To all their brain. And that's that's what society does to you as you get older. They start to dull your thoughts.
Right.
They don't want you thinking that. What why? It serves no purpose, you thinking that, having communication with somebody that's not there. You know, it doesn't serve a purpose. Like looking into the paranormal. Why, most people will say, well, what purpose does that serve? Organized religion will tell you you should not be making contact
Like,
with that world, the spirit world,
exactly.
right? Why? Think about it. Why? Because they want control. It's a control mechanism,
Hmm.
right? And if you do make contact, you're going to go to hell. you know,
Well, that's just it. They always say, well, it's because it's something evil or dark. It's
it's
not what you
evil or
think.
dark. Is it evil? Is it because they'll give us an answer? They'll give us some sort of answer to the question that we're asking that you're not giving us.
Good
You know,
question.
and that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, it makes you wonder. It really does. And again, that's how I look at the paranormal. I look outside that box. I mean, you have to look outside that box.
Yeah.
You have to think outside the box because otherwise you're not going to get anywhere by thinking. I mean, we've gotten to where we've gotten and it's stagnant now because many of us are still within that sort of box and are afraid to venture outside it, right?
Well, because
I
you're
know.
also trained not to. So that's, you have that fear of persecution because you are stepping outside the box.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, yeah, because then you're going to be shunned by, your community because, oh, look what he's doing. He's not supposed to do that.
I think it's a little different now, though. I think
Who said?
it's yeah, it might be look it might look a little different. If you're in a smaller community, people still think that way. But now I'm finding a lot more people are becoming a little bit more liberal with it. They don't really, hey, this is cool. That is cool. What? You ghost hunt? What? You're a paranormal investigator? No way. You know? And it's I'm always intrigued when a school contacts me or a teacher contacts me and says, "Hey, did you want to come in and give my students a talk about investigating the paranormal?"
Right.
Oh, sure, absolutely. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone into schools and talked to these kids. In fact, next week I'm going to a cultural thing in a town not too far, and we're giving a paranormal educational sort of thing
No, fun.
for people. So, I mean, people are really intrigued with it now.
Sure.
I mean, the questions there. I mean, it's a question that's always going to be on everybody's mind because we don't know the answer, and that's what happens to me after I die. What happens to me when I die, when my time comes? And that that's a question where they seek solace and comfort by asking somebody who investigates the paranormal, thinking that, okay, well, maybe he has answers as to what happens on the other side, if you will.
Right.
So yeah.
Hi, Michael.
Hi,
Um,
hi, Michael.
yeah, he says someone with delusions of persecution, whether they're schizophrenic or bipolar, is experiencing something frightening that could be potentially dangerous. Yes, it can be,
Yeah.
because I do know somebody that is schizophrenic, and oh, the medication this poor guy's got to take. But he's also mentally handicapped as well. Um, and I do think his is an illness, because of what he's told his family, what the voices are saying to him, which is very negative.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean it's not good stuff. So they have to keep that under control, otherwise he could end up in prison.
Mm.
Put it that way. So I think it's you have to just it's different with each person.
I yeah. I think people who and look into I don't know, I can't think of anything offhand right now, but look into people who research people who spend a lifetime in a mental institution, and what they do and what they say and who they think they're talking to, and the research, there's some really intriguing research going on with just exactly what they think might be going on. And again, this is like, again, you kind of equate it to when you're a kid and you, hey, um why is my kid talking to somebody who's not there? Is there
Right.
something? And obviously, what happens is when most parents are like frightened, obviously, because, oh, wait a sec, my kid's talking to us, you know, imaginary friend. Okay, you tell your doctor. The doctor goes, oh, he'll grow out of it, or she'll grow out of it, and then they don't grow out of it. It continues, and it's okay. Well, maybe we might have to put them on medication. I mean, right there and then, you start putting them on medication. It's a, I don't know about you, but I think that might make things worse. You know,
Well,
medicating somebody who doesn't really need to be medicated.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you're shutting down something that naturally happens with everybody.
Yeah.
Um,
You know?
just some, more some children are just more open to it. I think, and like you said, there's no filters. There's no,
No.
uh,
When the filters start,
right. When the
happening.
parents start pumping in what is expected, and this is
Yeah.
what you do, and this is how you do it,
Mhm.
then that's when everything starts to shut down.
Yeah.
Um, and all kids do that.
Mm.
They might talk to or have an imaginary friend.
Yeah.
My niece had one. I'm thinking, who are we talking to today? That's how I would, address it. I wouldn't say, oh, need to stop that. No, she's playing.
Yeah. But there are some people who just
Oh, it freaks them out.
coddle their kids too much, and yeah, let's put them on medication.
Yeah, that's the worst thing.
That's worse. It really
It's
is.
you're just, shutting down something that needs to be left alone.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually you're gonna some kids, the majority of them outgrow it. Because society has shaped them the way they wanted, so they do shut themselves down. And some are lucky and are still open until the day that comes for their passing.
Just reading what Friday. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
We don't understand. We don't understand fully understand gravity. We don't fully understand frequencies, even, and how our bodies interact with frequencies. I mean, yeah, we do understand, but on a full scope spectrum, no, we don't. I mean, it's so amazing how important these frequencies are to our livelihoods, and how detrimental some of them can be too. Like, I mean, you look at EMF detection, and you look at the different frequencies that are harmful to somebody in short doses or long doses, and the different reactions and side effects that people have. But I mean, there are so many great frequencies out there too that people don't understand. So I
Well,
mean,
'cause I never even thought of it. That's another thing, Steve. Nobody
no,
thinks of it in that
no,
way.
no, they don't. And again, this is stepping outside your senses, right? It's because you can't see it. It's not tangible. You can't see it.
Right.
It's like carbon monoxide. It's like germs. We didn't know anything about them, but they're there.
They're there.
Frequencies are the same thing, and they have a purpose, and people just don't understand or don't even think about the purpose of frequencies. I mean, you look at music. Look look at how music makes you feel. I mean, there's a prime example of frequencies and how they're interacting with the brain, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Bill wants to know what kind of mic that is.
it's my chair. I always forget the name of it. It's a Rode. Sorry, it's a Rode mic.
So yeah, I noticed that because I never thought of frequency
Mhm.
when I first started doing this, and then my cousin who did paranormal investigations out in Arizona, when he said that he had uh, adjusted his equipment to gauge and catch the different frequencies,
Mhm.
because he believes as well that they speak on a different frequency than we do.
I wholeheartedly, through my research over the years, I wholeheartedly believe one of the key realms of truly understanding um, communication or contact or whatever else is infrasound. I highly I wholly sorry highly I highly do I do believe that this realm carries a lot of answers that will answer a lot of the questions that we've been asking for years, and I do believe that infrasound carries a residual archive, if you will, a residual archive of us, of people that have come and gone over the years and have documented in, us here, um, talking to each other is creating energy, and that
Right.
that energy is infinite. It's just going to recycle and play over and over. It's going to loop throughout the universe, if you will. And infrasound, I do believe, is a doorway into being able to or having communication with residual sort of archival uh, evidence, if you will. I really do believe that is the realm that we really need to do more research to fully understand what's happening.
Right. Well, because that's one of our problems is that we, even though we are outside of the box in the field that we're in,
Yeah.
but we still are kind of have a tunnel vision.
Hmm.
A lot of people still have the tunnel vision where they're saying, like you said, they're not thinking, okay, different frequencies, more
Yeah.
study on this end of the spectrum. Then, okay, everybody's doing the same thing over and over and over.
Hmm.
Well, you're not getting anything. So that means you need to change what you're doing.
Yep. 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 It's you know, Michael says we all hear different frequencies. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. We some hear different frequencies than others, but for the most part, infrasound, we don't hear that. We can't hear that. We need devices to hear infrasound, right?
Right.
We need adapters, if you will, to hear infrasound. And if you listen to infrasound real time, it would make you sick. It would literally make you sick. It's like taking germanium crystals and using and recording with germanium crystals and listening to playback on germanium crystals real time. It would make you sick. The frequencies would make you sick. So you need an adapter to filter out that frequency so you're able to hear what the germanium crystal's able to absorb. It's really fascinating. I had a guy who put together a germanium crystal recorder,
Mm.
and it was just absolutely fascinating. Fascinating.
Yeah, I'm sure that was. Oh.
If anybody wants to look more into, like, say, EVP work and experimentation, a guy that I would highly recommend is somebody by the name of Michael Esposito. And he has done a lot of work over the years and some groundbreaking stuff, man. I'm telling you. I've had him really good friends with him. I've had him on the show several times in the past, and the guy's just phenomenal, phenomenal. What he uses to gain EVP or communication, if you will, just incredible. He's also the great grandson of Ennio Morricone.
So it's here. What's Genesis formation? Oh, am I reading the right one? No. Um, I don't even know how to say that gentleman's name, but it's a doctor who experimented with water involved exposing water samples to different
Yep.
frequencies. Yes, I do
Mhm.
remember seeing that.
Yeah, Emoto.
Um,
Yeah, and that's quite well known.
yeah, I do remember. Yeah, all about that, where it was
Yeah,
forming the crystals. Actually, I've done pretty much done that at home in the kitchen.
yeah,
Uh, there was an experiment that the kids learned had to do with what is that? It was borax soap
yeah,
and pipe cleaners and something else, and you do something else with it. I forgot. And then, but yeah, it would you could see the crystals forming, and you're watching it.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah,
very amazing
yeah.
stuff.
But again, it's a very oh, I mean, cool, Stephen. And how did that work out?
Here.
It's you know what is if you get yourself some germanium and you're able to make yourself a germanium like a recorder or a radio, if not, it's just amazing. But again, you don't want to listen to it real time because it literally will blow your brain. I'm not kidding you. Copper sulfide crystals can be, yeah.
Be made in
So
a
we
jar
sell
like
to
that.
water. Yeah,
Right. Yeah. It's kind of it's really neat. It is.
it is. It's fascinating, and I do believe I do believe it's one of your main answers or provides your answers to a lot of what's going on. A lot of what a lot of people are experiencing the paranormal. It would, I think, explain exactly what is going on to a certain extent, obviously.
Right. Wayne saying, I'm assuming sounds through water work in a similar way to light through prisms.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Steven said it picked up.
Oh, I picked it up locally.
He picked it up local radio.
Yeah, I picked up. Oh, I picked up local radio. Sorry.
Yeah.
My dyslexia is like kicking in there. Huh?
What is positive or negative frequency?
What is positive or negative frequency in the water or what? What do you mean? What a positive or
You got to elaborate, Steven.
yeah? Is he talking to the Emoto experiment? I don't know, but
I'll throw it out there.
in any way, it's a fascinating thing. And again, this is what I normally do. For me, when I started with the paranormal, it wasn't investigating; it was researching. And then, a good friend of mine passed away, and I was at the time I was going to film school, and and I was working in the film industry, and I felt that maybe it's time that I can start utilizing what I've been taught and what I've used and all sorts of things to maybe try to document what might be going on. And that's when I started going out and I started taking the research and I started taking the experience in my work with film and going out and trying to document as best as possible
Right.
paranormal activity, real paranormal activity. What is that? I mean, honestly, what is real paranormal activity? To be honest, I don't think any of us have ever really been able to explain what real paranormal activity is, other than it's unknown. Um,
Right. Well, we can explain our own experiences, and
we,
that's
we
pretty
we
much it.
can we can, and but unfortunately that doesn't hold much water to it, right?
Exactly.
Personal experiences. I can tell you many stories, but I mean, it's up to you to believe it or not, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because that's why I always tell everybody, I don't consider myself professional, even though I've been doing it for 20 years. It's because there is no professionals. You
No,
might be professional with equipment and
absolutely. Yeah.
and and other things, but the thing is, I think we're professional in our own experiences, and we're all just still a student of the science.
This has been an ongoing debate for years. I mean, when we first started the radio show back in 2008, this was a major thing within the paranormal community, and it still is, but it's not as like I said, things have a lot of things have changed over the years, obviously, but this it was, you had people who would have courses, online courses, become a certified paranormal investigator. It's like, wait a sec, who the hell certified the certifier?
Exactly.
What makes you, you know, able to certify? I don't get it. It makes no sense. You know, it makes no sense at all. And these were coming out of the woodwork, and people were paying
Of
ludicrous,
course.
yeah, ludicrous amount of money. Ludicrous, ludicrous. It's just amazing.
Thanks for hanging, Jeffrey.
You know,
Uh,
it's
no,
like
I yeah,
it's like
like you
is
said, who made them the professional?
I just look at it like this, and I continue to look at it. Look at we're all students. We're always going to be students.
Yes,
We're not experts. If we were experts, then we would be able to explain what's going on. We
and then
can't.
that would be it. It would be
Yeah,
done. The
it'd be
adventure
done.
would be done.
Done. That darkness we call the paranormal is no longer.
Right.
You know. So I don't know. Why can't I see the chat,
The
guys?
chat. I don't know.
Maybe because you're in our. Maybe come over to Raw Side's chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if
Yeah,
you're going through Steve's stream, yeah, it might not
yeah.
show up.
No, you got to come over to Raw Side. Come over to Raw Side's chat.
Yeah, come on over to the raw side.
Guys, come over to the Raw Side chat. Then you'll see the chat.
Uh,
But the link's there. I provided the link for you guys. Come on over. But yeah, yeah, it's an ongoing learning experience, no matter what. It's long, and that goes with being skeptical. You have to be skeptical. You have to think
oh yeah.
logically. You have to think logically. You can't go around saying that everything is paranormal, that everything's a ghost. I have proof of this. I have proof of that. I have evidence of that. I don't like calling things evidence. If I have a finding, that's exactly what it is. It's a finding. It's to me, it's
Right.
it's not evidence. I believe it's not evidence. It's intriguing. It's an anomaly. It's a finding. It's guys. What do you think? You know.
Right.
So
Yeah, because there is no definite proof of what you found.
no,
So how can you say it's evidence when there's no 100% proof?
exactly. I mean, because we don't know what we're dealing with. Theory wise, theory, but
Right.
theories aren't always right. And again, man-made, fallible.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, take care, Friday.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for coming.
all the great questions. Great questions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good when everybody shoots out some really good questions.
Yeah. 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 It's intriguing. Like I mean, I and I think that's the way it should be. I think that's the way, as a whole, as an entity with paranormal. And I don't like saying paranormal unity. I hate that word, but I do believe that we all should work together. I do. We're not getting anywhere if you don't have the help from others,
Exactly.
right? And if you're not well versed in a certain area, somebody else is.
Right.
Share, tell them, look at, hey, I can't figure this out. Let me get your opinion. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's
Beautifully said.
that's how we further our understanding. Outside the scope of science. Obviously, science is on it. People think, well, science isn't paying attention to this. No, they are. They're
Yeah.
paying. They do have peer reviewed experiments and so on and so on. Things going on. There's constant research going on with the paranormal. We just don't hear about it, or
Right.
we might hear about it here and there, but it's a constant thing.
Sure. Because they're doing the same thing, learning, trying to figure it out.
Well, I mean, I think one of the ages old question is, again, what happens life after death? What
Right.
happens to you when you die?
That's just the
Is that
big,
it? The end all
big
be all?
secret.
The big question. That's the big question that
That's right.
once we're able to answer that, if we're ever able to answer that, then I think all the other doors are gonna open right up and say, hey, oh man, it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah, that's it. They figured it out, so now we can all
Yeah,
just shut down shop.
exactly.
But and one of the main reasons why I started the YouTube channel,
Yeah,
because I didn't really wasn't going to get involved with it, but it's the educational and the history and what we can learn from each other as the
absolutely.
community. And again, with the magazine that I come out with, it's all community based. Everybody's I want their experiences, their stories, all to go into the magazine so it could be shared with everybody else. All your knowledge, everything,
Yeah.
and actually, I need actually I should have you do if you have time to do a piece on frequencies, and we can put that in there because people want to know this stuff.
Yeah. Sure.
I Yeah,
Sure.
it's just really important.
It is. I mean, I think it's one of the most vital parts of the paranormal that I think more and more people need to understand. And again, this goes part and parcel to people just going out there and trying to investigate the paranormal. Most people haven't got a clue on how to investigate. Period. They haven't got a clue.
Right, they're going by what they're learning on YouTube
Or whatever TV show, blah blah
or
blah,
yeah,
whatever.
TV shows or whatever.
They
But
they
that's
they they
that's-
have no interest in learning how to investigate. You know,
right,
I mean, take a course on investigation, on investigative work. You'd be surprised. You know how
and
to
they would be surprised at what they're
how
missing.
how to collect data, how to collect
Right,
evidence. It's not hard, and you know what? Once you learn this stuff, you'd be amazed how differently you look at investigating the paranormal.
right,
It no longer becomes that thrill-seeking thing, but in the hobby sort of thing. Because I mean, most people get into it as a hobby sort of thing, and then all of a sudden, it's, well, hey, I enjoy this. I want to do this like seriously. Then
right.
take a course, take a course or whatever on
Well, just
investigating
research
on.
online.
Yeah,
It's if there's no courses available, just
no,
that's what we have the world at our fingertips. Use it for something besides, putting up stupid, TikTok videos or,
exactly, Mike. And
learn it use it to educate yourself.
yeah,
Yeah, Stephen says he puts us our soul is believed to be energy. So the laws of thermodynamics say we can't just vanish, just convert it to another type of energy or frequency, maybe.
exactly, and that's what I wholeheartedly believe. And again, this you have to look at the metaphysical world to understand this. You know, you have to look at the non-physical realm and the non-physical aspect of our being. and that's frequencies
Right.
and energy. We house our own energy. We emit our own frequencies,
Right.
and these don't disappear. They transition. They transition when the physical vessel that we call our body dies. But that I don't believe is the end all be all. I find that hard to believe that the energy that we've housed and stored for X amount of years just disappears. It doesn't. It moves
Right.
on. It transitions into
It's to
something
something
else.
else.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And see, that's the question where people, why do people use, because I'll get into this with you, is about why do people use all of these gadgets? What is the theory behind the gadgets? And, I'm not a big gadget person, but I understand the theory behind it because we transform into energy. And that's
Yep.
what I think they're trying to pick up with the gadgets.
Yep. Again, a lot of the tools of the trade, if you will, weren't even made for ghost hunting.
I know.
I mean, yeah, you have all these parlor tricks out there now, and a lot of them, again, when you look at them, are entertainment purpose only. So, I mean, the spirit boxes, the ovuluses, the whatever. They're great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to bash them. I mean, I've got myself in so much trouble in the past, but that's what they are. They're entertainment. They're really entertainment. And I find it really, I'm sorry, I find it really hard to believe that somebody goes into a location and rely heavily on what a spirit box is telling them and believing that what's happening there. I mean, I've been to some pretty famous places, and I've watched some of these people go in after the fact, like one location that I've been to several times, and I'm watching something the other night from that very location, stating
Typing.
something, and I'm like, wait a second, not once ever have I heard of anything remotely in this location. And I knew the owner very well before he passed away. So, I mean, like, that's the problem with the paranormal. You can exploit it and say whatever you want and get away with it. And it's really sad.
Right.
It really is.
Oh, it is because, yeah, because they have nothing to back what they're using. And like I said, I'm not against them, but
Yeah.
I don't use them because I always tell everybody I think it's part of the great experiment as well. You never know.
Well, that no, hey, no, I agree. Like, I mean, you never know. I mean, you utilize whatever you can to try to understand what's going on. I get that. I get that. But when you're to me when you're presenting, you're going into a location and you're wholeheartedly relying on like a spirit box or whatever, a talking teddy bear, you know, and it's telling you, talking to you, and it's like these are stray radio frequencies. I don't know. I've always had a hard time with especially ghost boxes and Frank's boxes. They're neat. Don't get me wrong. They're for parlor trick entertainment, but I don't believe that you're going to get an accurate sort of assessment of a haunted location with something like that. That's
Right.
just my opinion.
Oh, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion. Like I said,
Yeah.
I always tell everybody if I do end up using anything like that, it's part of the great experiment,
Yep. Yep.
just to see. The only time I do, if I do go inside into a building, I do use the EMF just to check for electricity.
Well, yeah, you
I'm checking to
use
make sure that the building is dead.
yeah, you do
And then I
do
usually
base
just throw it in
readings.
the yeah, and I
Yeah,
throw
you
it in the
do.
bag, and that's that's where it stays. I've
Yep.
never actually set it somewhere and try to do communication through it because
Yeah.
I don't know, I just never did it.
Well, and again, a lot of things with an EMF meter. If anybody knows anything about an EMF meter, if you're using it with other devices, you're going to set that EMF meter off, right?
Sure. Yeah.
And I always go and tell people to go one further and get a tri-field meter. Um, they give more of an accurate reading, and again, they give you more frequencies to read from as well.
Right.
Yeah, I mean EMF meters are great, but tri-fields are so much better.
Sure. Oh, yeah. If you're going to use it during,
Yeah.
the investigation.
Hmm.
Like I said, when I do the walkthrough, I check and make sure everything okay. We've got nothing, no juices going,
Yeah.
and it usually just gets tossed back into the bag. Nancy
Yeah.
says only devices you need is a good camera and an EVP tool, possibly a touch sensor, what reads earthquakes.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, it depends on your area. Worried about
Yeah, I've
earthquakes,
never heard of anybody use that one, but okay, yeah,
but I mean, you know what? I've employed all sorts of tools. I mean, I've used an etch a sketch. I mean, you'd be surprised how good an etch a sketch is. Because it's magnetic.
yeah.
And obviously, theory is that they will use a magnetic sort of platform to make some sort of, along with electricity, to make some sort of communication, right?
So
Yeah,
again,
tri-field meters are the best. Yeah,
yeah, thinking outside the box again. Use what you know, your knowledge. The simplest thing, instead of spending hundreds of dollars on something, like I
exactly.
said, an etch a sketch. I mean,
Yeah.
who would have thought of using that? But yeah, if you
Mhm.
really think about it,
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. All sorts of little things that most people don't even think of. You use them. I mean, as a trigger item or whatever. You'd be surprised. Of course, there's a time and a place to use these certain tools, but I mean, you utilize whatever you can.
I mean, I would love actually to see. I mean, like I said, I'm nothing against people using the gadgets and all of that
Mm.
stuff,
No.
but I would love to see people taking, like people who've been in it as long as you and I, or even your friend there longer,
Hmm.
use their data to come up with something that would be useful
Hmm. Yeah,
during an investigation.
absolutely.
You've got that information and that data. Now come up with a piece of equipment
Hmm.
off of that information that you have that will actually be a benefit.
If I was a tool maker, if I was a gadget maker, I would definitely be making some gadgets.
There you go. See, because
But
that's
I,
that's how you do it. Because, like you said, most of the stuff out there was not made for what they're using it for.
yeah,
So, if somebody would to just gather all of their information and then get together with somebody, electronics whiz or whatever, and you'd say, "Hey, this is what I need. This is what I
A-
needed to do. I need you to
airplane
create it."
airplanes can set off an EMF detector. Yeah, well, they'd have to be awfully close.
Is it the one that's crashing?
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. But like I
um,
said, that's why I say you're better off with the tri-field. So you're understanding, okay, why is it going off and what frequency is setting it off? Where an EMF reader will not give you that luxury, where a tri-field will. It will tell you what frequency is setting it off.
yeah,
So,
that's so. There you go, guys. That's what you need to get.
mhm,
I mean,
highly
you say not
recommend it.
not use the K2, you still can use that,
Oh yeah, you can still use whatever, but I
to
mean,
get your base readings or whatever.
yeah,
But mostly what people are using them for is I
yeah.
don't see that, but okay, but it's not me.
No, not a DR60. God,
Oh no, somebody brought that up.
God, God. No, no, no,
Let's
no.
see. Mike says spectrum analysis
Yes.
there would be
Yep.
great.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So my father-in-law's airplane sets off K2 off a wild distance with just the radio.
Mm,
Well, yeah, the K look, look, it's
well,
off. I mean, the K2 is supposed to be picking up the energy, so it's
yeah.
uh, that's what they always say. Don't have your phone or anything else around you. Anything will set it off if it's putting out some form of energy.
And again, if you want to have validation, put your recorder and put your K2 or whatever, put it in a Faraday cage.
Yes,
If you put it in a Faraday cage large enough, if something gets through that Faraday cage, then something's going on.
there you go. That's
So there you go.
I
Faraday
love it.
cage.
And I've only actually on YouTube seen one person use that
Yeah,
bag.
to me it's a must. I mean, Faraday cages are a must. If you can get your hands on one or build one, by all means
Right.
do it. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was Joe Vitale. I go, finally, somebody brought the damn bag out
Yep.
and
Yep.
we're going to see how it works and see if it does work. And
Yep.
I wish more people would do that. If you're going to
Oh,
use
absolutely.
gadgets,
Well,
do it.
then you're not gonna get the naysayers coming out of the woodwork saying, "Well, it's radio waves, it's cell phone, it's whatever." And no, I'm sorry, but it's in a Faraday cage. That's null and void.
Right.
So,
Hi, Sue.
hey, Sue. So, yeah,
Oh, Mike says an ESD bag or Faraday cage.
yeah, exactly. Yes, SD bags are a little bit more cheaper, I believe. Faraday cages can be pretty expensive, but
Oh, yeah.
if you can build one yourself, yeah, do it. Highly
Yeah, Nancy
recommend it.
says, okay, I'm going to try to build one.
There you go. Build one.
There's a video on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a video for everything. They're really not that hard to build either. So, I mean, if you're a handy person, then yeah, I definitely would say build one.
Go for it,
Prob
right? Go for it.
Yeah, probably a little cheaper.
And,
Might
like I said, again, if people could get together and share their information and create that one piece of equipment, they would actually prove something,
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
that would just, that would be the best.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the key to understanding and helping everybody out is you're not going to get anywhere. Like I said earlier, you're not going to get anywhere without bonding together and saying, hey, like, let's do
Right.
this.
Right.
Let's do this. So yeah.
Jeff's still here. He's working on a 3D printing program.
Yeah.
What are you up to now, Jeff?
What isn't he up to? He's a busy guy.
I know.
He's a busy guy.
Nancy says, yes, I love welding. It's my son's profession. He's a welder. Welding is so dangerous.
Yeah, especially for your eyes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you have to all the helmets and all of that crap, but it's every time he comes home and he'll say something and I look at his clothes, I go, what happened? Oh, I set myself on fire or something,
Oh, wow.
Thanks. I needed to hear that. He's printing Ecto 1.
Yeah, Acto One.
Mad scientist, Jeff.
He's conjuring up something.
Those 3D printers are something
I
else.
know,
They
they're
really are.
amazing.
My
They're
son has
amazing.
one and he plays around with it. And I'm still waiting. I told him, I said, I want the tri-level chess set from Star Trek. I said, you're going to make that for your mother.
We're in trouble when they're used. Hey, what would you guys like for dinner? Oh, McDonald's, sure. I'll 3D print that.
Yeah. Oh, run.
Yeah,
And not for nothing, I wouldn't be surprised that some places do that.
yeah. I've heard some
All
pretty
the
wild
synthetic
stories.
food. It just goes
Uh,
tinfoil and duct tape.
yeah, uh,
Does
yeah.
anybody else have any questions for Mr. Steve? We need to get in there and get all his vast knowledge from him. His vast knowledge.
No,
I know that everybody, including myself, is enjoying the series that you've put out there.
the Dark
The
Woodlot.
the Woodlot. I'm
Yeah, the
loving it.
Dark Woodlot. Yeah.
Alex is funny as hell. I'm sorry.
Alex or Dr. Demon Gord.
It was just I was laughing at that last one so bad,
Yeah.
and he kept saying, "Jeff," he goes, "Steve's gonna kill me. Steve's gonna."
Yeah, that episode was just to simply give you guys a glimpse of how we enjoyed doing it. I mean, we're just
Right.
having fun. We're having fun filming it. So I said I'm going to put an episode just mainly because of that. And
That was oh yeah, I loved it. That was
uh,
great.
yeah, it was
And
fun.
when is the next one supposed to arrive?
The next one's giving me a headache, but it should be ready by next Thursday. Next Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time again.
Fantastic. So we
Yeah.
will just keep the hawk out looking out for that one. Hi, Dom. How are you?
Tom, how are you? Yeah. Yeah, this latest episode, it was supposed to be episode 4, but like I said, I didn't like the direction it was going in, and
Right.
I shelved it. I said, I'm going to revisit it and possibly make it episode 5 and go fresh with episode 4, and that's what we did, what I did. So yeah, that's how it turned out. I thought it was a great idea.
So it was because it just, I don't know. I think it just brought up more the lightheartedness to what you guys were doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I thought everybody's all about making sure everything is so perfect, prim and proper, and
Right.
I'm like, why?
You got
Why?
a little fun too.
Show the people the fun that you guys have. I mean, I enjoy doing this. I enjoy, especially filming this stuff. Putting it was supposed to be a documentary, and then have so much footage. I said, okay, well, let's break it up and make it into a web series.
Yeah, I love it. Congratulations, Dom. You see you have a TV show coming out real soon. That is great.
Don't let the producers talk you into faking stuff.
Oh, yeah, they're gonna try. Oh, we gotta do this. Say, well, no, then I'm out. That's what I would say. Nancy has a question. Steve, favorite location and experience? Would love to hear it. I have never heard it.
Favorite location? Oh my god! Like this. I spoke to you about a couple of my favorite locations, the Pioneer Cemetery and the farmhouse, the museum are two of my favorite places. I can go back each time, but there was one place uh, that I stumbled upon years ago, and it's another old farmhouse but abandoned. And when I looked at the history of the place and found out that there was two suicides, two women had committed suicides at two different points in the history of the house. One on the top of the house, the TV antenna, one in the horse barn, the animal barn, hung themselves. And I'm like, wow, why? I don't get that. That just seems so crazy. So, I remember going into this house for the very first time by myself when I stumbled upon it. And, I remember driving up the driveway, an old dirt driveway, and there was an old wood bridge, and I didn't cross the bridge because it didn't look too safe. So I just parked the car in front of the bridge and walked up to the house. There was a big barn, there was an equipment barn, and another smaller barn, and a carport, and then you had the house. And I walked up to the front of the house and walked up to the front door, opened the screen door, and I knocked on the door. I wanted to see if it was okay if I took some photos of the barns and blah blah blah. And I was looking inside, and I noticed there was no furniture, nothing. And I'm like, okay. So I walked around to the back of the house, and there was a pantry area. The door was ajar just a little bit. I walked in, excuse me, and all I could hear was the beeping of an old fire alarm when the battery's just dying. when batteries die, it beeps
Right,
constantly.
right.
And this place was just bare. There was nothing in there. And I was just walking around taking some photos, and I remember going upstairs to the main to the bedroom level. And this house was built in the 1890s, I believe. The 1890s it was built. Beautiful home. And I got upstairs, and there was something in the attic. And every time I'd like walk around, it would walk around. It'd move up in the attic, and I'm like, oh, okay, what exactly is that? And I looked around to see if I can find the attic door. And I found the attic door, and thankfully the attic door was closed. But whatever was up there was on the other side of the attic door. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to stick around to see what it is. It was probably just an animal, just a big animal or something that got into the attic. And I remember uh, going back to that place with a full crew and all our equipment, and doing a thorough investigation of the house. And I remember walking up the stairs, and there was two stairs, you know, one at the front door and one in the back that would actually come down into the kitchen. And I remember going up the one upstairs to in the front hallway there, the front door. And as I'm going up the stairs, I could hear Steve. And I'm like, what the hell? There's nobody here.
Shit, they know me.
Yeah. Okay. Did I get it? And I got it on audio.
Oh, that's
I
fantastic.
I captured it. I'm like, wow, thankfully I got it. But because everyone would have probably, you're crazy, you didn't hear nothing. I'm like,
Right.
listen, here it is right here. And that place would give a first time visitor a sense of dread. You could literally feel the energy that those two women probably felt upon committing suicide
Oh,
in
wow.
that place. It was just such a dreadful place. And a lot of weird stuff happened in there. But anyways, the house now is if you go on my YouTube, on the YouTube channel there, you'll see I do an update, if you will, on the house, and it lays in shambles now. You can't go inside. It's falling apart. It's collapsing. It's really a shame because it used to be such a nice house, beautiful home.
Wow.
If you had the money, you can make it look just beautiful. But
Right.
sadly, it just wilting away and weathered, and yes, it's really too bad. But
Time
yeah,
takes over.
one of my favorite locations
Have you ever
right
been to
there.
a place that you would never go back to again?
No, I mean, not really. I don't think I've ever been deterred or extremely frightened or anything like that in an investigation. To the point where I wouldn't return unless it was just absolutely stupid. Like doing a house investigation, and the people wanted to stick around and wanted to invite their neighbors over to watch us investigate. And I'm like, no, I don't, that's not going to work out too well. We can't really control the environment that way. And, just best if it's you two in the house. And, when we made it to the house, um, the, uh, the couple were there, and the neighbors were there, and they're in the living room playing video DVD Trivial Pursuit. I'm like, "Ah, okay, that's the type of I'm not coming back." You know,
Oh man, real bad. Hey, just come on in. We're just
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
He
I think that was the story he just told us,
Mhm.
Matt, about the suicide in the barn and the house.
Yeah, he's seen the video, the 4K video that I released, with the drone footage of the house and the barns and stuff.
Yes, I
Really,
do.
really,
I've seen. Well, I did see something that you did put out with that.
yeah,
I don't know if it's the same one that you're talking about.
yeah, probably is. Yeah. So,
He said he came in late. That's all right. That's
yeah.
okay. Steve could just tell it all over again. It's okay.
Yeah. Uh,
Does
yeah.
anybody else have any other question that they want to know about Steve? And while we're waiting for one to pop up, my question is for you: how long do you think you'll be doing this forever, or do you think eventually you'll just come to the point where you're not going to do it anymore?
I don't think I'll ever stop. I mean, I could see myself when I retire that, I'll probably get more into it. I'll probably dedicate a lot more time to it. I wish I was able to dedicate more time to it now. It's just, so much going on, and I do as much as I can, but
Right.
I don't think I'll ever walk away from it. I think it's a part of my being, and, yeah, I it's a part of my being, and I don't think I'd ever give it up.
Great answer.
Mhm.
I know there's a lot of people that just say, "Well, I've had enough. It's the same thing all the time."
There's been plenty of times when I've felt that I wanted to walk away. I just, I'm getting nowhere when you see all this stuff around you, but I sit there and go, "No,
All right.
no."
Yeah, 'cause I've done that too. So I'm thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Exactly.
Yeah, everybody is. I think everybody has that moment, like, "What am I nuts? I gotta find."
Yeah.
But and then of course, then it's there. The reasons why is there is. I think we just get burned out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, and again, you just simply just step back for a bit and reset. You just reset, and, you kinda go back to what, and think about, what made you enjoy doing it in the first place. Go back to the basics,
right,
and reset. I found, several times that I felt that that was the best thing. Just do the basic things, just go back, just do things that you haven't done in a long time, and stop overthinking. I find that too many people overthink a lot of this stuff. And, keep it simple. Just keep it simple, and just remember, just enjoy what you're doing. I mean, just enjoy it. And think that, you're not doing it only for yourself, but you're doing it to help others. And I always found that, if I can help somebody understand something, that they might be, afraid of, or whatever else, and help them understand that there's nothing to be afraid of, then I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
right.
Yeah, I'll
I,
keep doing it.
well, I think we all get sucked into the pressures of what people are expecting us to put out.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. That's the problem. That's the problem. And again, I get a lot of people who, come on here and they got their YouTube, and they get to a certain amount of subscribers, and, they start getting, you know, modified, or sorry, monetized, and the pressure's on. You gotta, feed content to people who are donating money to you, and I get it. And
right,
that I think that's when people start to get burned out with this stuff, especially, and again, like I said, with the paranormal, it's like, then it's not for you to do this YouTube thing. It's not for you to do these um social media sort of things. Just step away from them, and just do what you love to do, and that's investigate the paranormal. Just investigate the paranormal. Don't worry about the content. Don't worry about what you need to show people. And because I mean, these people are constantly thinking, oh, I gotta have a camera going 24/7. I gotta, get this, gotta get
Right.
that. And you know what? You get burned out. You do. No matter what.
Yep.
Everyone I talk to, there's a point. There's a point when they get burned out and they have to step away.
Oh yeah, you've got to have that break.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're done. It's
And I think that's why Alex and I have our hiatus in the summer from the radio show, right? We take a couple months off and then reset. You know,
yeah.
if we were kind of doing this like constantly, it's just like, and there's points when Alex and I have felt that, do we really want to do this anymore?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Honestly, do we retire this? And this is just the radio show, but we're constantly amazed. Not so much with YouTube, but the radio network that we're on. The amount of people who listen to the show live is just incredible. And it would be cool if it translated into YouTube. But YouTube's a different monster. But I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about you know I'm just happy that people are listening to the show, and a lot of people are. It's like, wow, you know, this is great.
Right.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, Matt, you're right. We do. We love Steve's radio voice. And yeah, see Harley saying, yeah, he's taking yeah. You got to take that moment for yourselves.
Yeah.
And even though he keeps investigating, but it's for himself and not the pressures of the channel.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Matt says,
Absolutely.
I often come here to unwind and listen to an awesome guy talk about what he likes, knows, and loves, and maybe a few life lessons along the way.
Thanks, Matt. Really appreciate it.
Nice.
Appreciate it. And that's the thing. I mean, people who are regular to the show and constantly come out, and maybe not, they may not catch the live shows, but they go in and they check out the archives and so on and so on. That's why we do it. That's why we
Right.
continuously do it, because we want to hear from people. Good or bad, it doesn't matter. We want to hear both sides of the coin. If we're doing something you don't like, let us know. Hey, if it's something that we can correct or whatever, hey, let us know.
Right.
Right?
Well, the thing I like about it is that you never know what you're going to tune into when your show is on. And who's just going to pop in and then the
Well,
total show just does a complete, like 180 or it is.
yeah, yeah.
And that's I think the great part about it.
I mean the live shows, like the live shows, the open format shows, yeah, that. But I mean the show itself is live every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time till 11 every Sunday night. And those are the actual shows, the actual season shows with guests and so on and so on. That's what we continuously do. The YouTube thing is, I feel like just popping in and doing a live and see what everyone's up to. Let's talk
Right.
or whatever, right? And that's the you know on the whim sort of, hey, and let's see who'll come up. Let's see what kind of shenanigans we can get into or
Right.
whatever. I don't know.
And I think that makes it the best because you're not going by a script. It's free flowing. That's what I try to do here because yeah, I have some bullet points I want to hit with a person that I have on, but
Yeah, yeah,
I just want it to be all natural, just whatever somebody wants to ask or talk about. I think it just makes it more comfortable for everybody all
yeah.
the way around, more enjoyable.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I thank you, Michael. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for
Really.
stopping in, Tom. Good luck with the interview.
Yeah, take care, Tom. And Yeah, Lauren, I actually I have to get running too. I have to,
Oh, not a problem,
yeah, but
guys. Not a
I just,
problem, Steve.
yeah, I was just looking at the time. I'm like, holy crap, I gotta go.
Yeah, it goes quick.
Yeah,
I want to
flies.
thank everybody for popping in, hanging out with Steve and myself. I had a great time. I hope you all did. Thank you again, Steve, for it's always a pleasure.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure being, catching your show or whatever. It's great. I love it. And
Oh, great, great.
keep
And you're more
keep
than welcome to come on
keep
anytime you want.
keep up the great job.
I'm trying.
Love coming into your chat and just listening and reading what everyone talks about. So yeah, and you know what? I'm sure we'll have you on the show in the near future as well.
Oh, I feel honored, and I would do it in a heartbeat. You know that. So,
Well, keep your phone on ring, and
and
we'll we'll figure it out.
all right, sir.
We'll get something scheduled for you.
That'd be great. Thanks again, everybody, for popping in. Remember, if you're not subscribed, please go over and check out Nocturnal Frequency Radio. A great channel, a great group of guys. Steve is fabulous and famous, and, he
Not
deserves
really.
the subs. Oh, sure you are. you're you're
So
famous in the circle.
yeah.
Good enough. Good enough. Until next time, guys, thanks for joining us on the Raw Side and have a great evening.
Take care, everyone.